Why do you struggle to live, Brian? My joy is thy destruction, my beauty thy death. Come forward then, and die in peace. Mwahaha.
So, Brian, you got spells, right? What do you want to do? Anything special here? Okay. No. So you fight him. Assmilk, you be a wizard and cast By Kill on Brian. Fortiel, you cast By Kill on Assmilk. Ginseng, use your healing item of justice. I can almost fully heal this fire breath with... Oh, shit. That hurts pretty bad. But that's the end of the world. I've only got 2 stages. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm fucked up. I need to use the stupid item. Damn it, I forgot about that. Okay, so now you use your item. Sphere of Light. You attack. You, could heal everyone? That's very expensive, right? Or how expensive is it? How much does Heal Us cost? Do I have my notes opened up yet? I do not. Let's see here. So I'm gonna go to my desktop, basically. Open my Dragon Warrior Newts. And where's Heal Us? Okay, let's see here. I never even checked Heal Us. I have no idea how much it costs. Well, let's fucking chest it, I guess. Better late than never. Heal Us. So, 4TL has 137 right now. Tenant was probably my favorite since Revolutionary, huh? I'm a big-time Jodie apologist. I thought that season was fucking sick! I thought that she was a sick doctor. Heal Us. Ginseng, use your item again. Okay. Jesus Christ. Damn. So it only cost, so she has 137, I'm down to 119. So it costs basically like 18 MP. Not bad. Should I hear it? I mean, this game has music, you know what I'm saying? So I would say probably not here. I do use some background music when it's really quiet for a long time, but normally I let the game music speak for itself. This is I rock. Brian, you fight. Fortiel, you revive your boy. Revive is good because it fully heals Assmilk's HP as well. Flip through your dragon board, dog. Does Brian still have By Kill? Okay, he's lost it. Okay, there's the heal, just in time. How's that been, dog? Out of the new doctors, I probably like, Nkudi. Oh, really? Oh, that's your new top tier? I haven't seen that fucking season yet. I've heard you kind of mixed things about it. And Capaldi. I watched with a Capaldi fan. I really didn't like Capaldi that much. I wanted to like Capaldi more. There are some episodes I liked him a lot. I liked Bill, and I also liked, fucking, you know, what was the little guy's name, Fortiel? Nard or whatever. He was great. And Capaldi was okay. But you know I really hated Fortiel? I hated the whole fucking Sonic sunglasses thing and the electric guitar. It never worked for me. For me, that was the season that had some of the weakest writing. Like, Matt's later seasons and Capaldi seasons had the weakest writing for me, personally. I like him as an actor, I see. You fight, you use By Kill on Brian. You know what? I don't know. Heal Us is kind of expensive still. You use By-Kill on Ass Milk. If we had Fortiel using Heal Us every turn and Ginseng using the Rock every turn, we would be in pretty good shape, I feel like. Problem is, it just costs too much. It's too expensive. Okay, I like that shit. Capaldi has some super cringe moments, but I like that they made him an asshole doctor. Oh yeah, that was nice. I liked him being an asshole. And there were some arcs that I liked a lot. You know what I really, really, really hated Fortiel? And I was really frustrated to find this out, that this is a hot take. I really hated what's-her-name, Fortiel. I haven't watched the show in a while, so I forgot some of the characters' names. But dude, what's-her-name? Dude, I hated her so much. God, I hated her so much. And she's considered like one of the, you know, I guess she's like a love-or-hate-it kind of a companion. Some people love her, some people hate her. But I hated her so much, dude. And not because of anything about her, really. It's just because of the writing. The way they wrote her was just so consistently bad through the whole series. She was Capaldi's companion. She was Matt's companion toward the end, and she sucked then, too. But she sucked even more in Capaldi's era. You fight. You fight. You buff Ass Milk. And you use your rock. Her name's the tip of my tongue, Fortiel. You know what I'm talking about. Clara! Yeah, Clara. Oh, God, I hated Clara. Oh, no. Fortiel, stay alive! Oh, she's still barely alive. She was less good as the series went on, says Fortiel. I mean, her idea was... I mean, there's some things I hate about her, just the way she was written in general. But what's really frustrating is that her idea, the idea behind her was so fun. That she was like the fucking, you know, the immortal girl who was kind of like, you know... She would die over and over. Spoilers, guys, for Dr. Who. She would die over and over. But she basically was like a companion to every doctor, just off camera, in a way. Like, she was always like around, in theory. And that was a fun idea, but God... Didn't not only did not deliver on that, but they kept like aborting her arcs. They'd start an arc with her, and then they would just cut it short before it could possibly end. And they kept changing her function. They kept making her different characters every time. My big problem with Clara was she had no actual character. She was kind of like a mimic pixie at times, but I like her the most. You know, I like her the most when she would fight. She would argue with Capaldi and like give him shit. That was fun. But it's like every writer had a different idea for who she should be. It was a real waste. It was a real waste of a companion, in my opinion. I really didn't like her overall. Bill was godlike. Bill was super godlike. Nardole, super godlike. In my opinion, you know, Bill and Nardole really carried, you know, that season. And basically once Clara leaves the show, I like Capaldi's season a lot more. Like his time as a doctor was way better with Bill and Nardole. Okay, so you fight. Sorry guys, I'm nerding about Doctor Who with my friend Fortiel. Ass Milk, you fight. Fortiel, you heal yourself. And Ginseng, use your rock. We haven't got debuffed yet. I gotta pay attention when I get debuffed. That's like the main thing, is watching for when I get debuffed. Okay, well now we're debuffed. So now you fight. Ass Milk, you buff. Brian. Fortiel, you buff Ass Milk. Ginseng, use your rock. Nice. He's debuffed us again, but we're going to buff Brian still. Oh, he can do that twice? That's godlike! That's godlike! He wasted his entire turn debuffing? That's really bad. That's bad RNG for him. You fight. You fight. You use, not use, but rather use buy kill on Ass Milk. Use your item again. So not only does he have a chance to roll his buff removal, even when we're not buffed, he has a chance to fucking do it twice on both of his turns. Yes, dude, yes. I love when he debuffs me, honestly, because it's not hurting my team HP-wise. You fight, you buy kill on Brian, you buy kill. It costs me a little bit MP when he debuffs me, but it's not that bad. This might be the run, guys. Might be the run. Okay, this snowstorm's gonna hurt a little bit. Not that bad. It's better than when he uses his breath by a long shot. Okay, this sucks. Oh no, this is the blizzard breath. Is not that bad. It's the other breath he has, the fire breath. It's worse. But yeah, I'm glad you're fucking enjoying Doctor Who again, Fortiel. I really, you know, I was obsessed with Doctor Who, watching the new Who. I fucking loved that show. I could not get enough of it. There were some parts that dragged, but they were very few and far between for me. You two are cute. Cute nerds. Okay, so now Fortiel is actually freed up. I don't want her to use any magic, though. Should she just fight, I guess? On this turn? Just fight. Do some extra damage, I guess. She could also parry. She could also block. Would parry be better? No. And you heal us all. Oh, no, it's really bad. For you. This guy might be eating shit here very shortly. From his last words, right? Oh, Ass Milk with the crits! I don't like how he hasn't got his turn yet. What's gonna happen here? Okay, nice. Do it again. Do it again, you coward. Oh, that's alright, that's fine. So now, Brian, you fight. Ass Milk, he debuffed us once, right? So you have to use your buy kill again. You buy kill on Brian. And then Fortiel could heal herself instead of buy killing Ass Milk. Or she could just hope she doesn't get... No. She has to probably heal herself, right? Alright, fine. We don't want to have to revive her ass. So use heal all on yourself. You go ahead and use your Stage of Stone. Okay, buy kill. Nice, waste of a turn. I like that shit. Blizzard Breath is good too. Excellent. Milky, watch Doctor Who. Join us. Doctor Who is so fucking sick. Like, I've only ever seen, you know, less than half the series. I only watched New Who, basically once they rebooted the series years later. So I don't know anything with the classic Doctors. But damn is it good. Now you can buy kill on Ass Milk. And you can use your Sage of Stone. Yes, early buy kill. That's it! Easy game! Is that the final boss, or is there going to be a second phase?
Brian, thou hast defeated me, but heed my words. So long as brightness exists, so doth the darkness. This vision I do see. From darkness deep, one more will follow me. But when that time doth arrive, thou wilt do have aged and died. Ha ha ha.
Okay. We did it. Easy game, baby game. Dude, are we done though? How come there's no fucking fanfare? Brian, return to, how about we go to, Tortuga. Tantagel, excuse me. I love Star Trek and I love Doctor Who. Their wife series. We won! Oh, I have to actually get out of this area here first. Uh-oh! Whee! We're getting shot up out of the goddamn hole in the ground. That's funny. I know where I am. Isn't that funny? Can I? Oh, I can't use magic in this room either, can I? Well, there should be no enemies here at least, right? Do 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 do. In fact, every enemy in the world should be gone now, I think. Let's see if I can get out of here without having to use my return. Dee 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 dee. We won. Oh. Oh. Uh-oh. This is fucking bad. Jesus fucking Christ. Go, 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 go. Go, 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 go. The whole shit is collapsing around us. We killed that guy, 4TL. That was a really fun fight. So canonically now we know from the later games in the series that we're going to have sunlight out here. What happens to the overworld is my question. And what happens to the world above this world? A sound like something closing is heard from up in the sky. This series has such interesting lore for being just some random game with barely any plot. God, this game is fucking good. Imagine if the real final boss is just those three skeletons again. That'd be so sick, Ass Milk. The real final boss is Jeremy when we get home. Come on, guys. Why'd you leave me here? Well, the castle collapsed. You're all indeed true heroes. Thank you very much. Thanks to you, day has dawned again in this land. Oh, I didn't know the light could be so bright. It's a dream come true. So sweet. This game has got really great writing and localization for being from 1988. I will fucking end you, Jermig. Everybody fucking hates Jermig so much. You defeated the Master Archfiend, did you? Hooray! We did indeed. That's gonna be okay, I think, Asmo. We're so grateful you were sent to us. What's up, dog? From now on, let me call you boss. That's funny. Alright. No, like part 3? Yes, I was thinking that too. But I think because he said, you know, he said another will come to replace me, by then you'll be dead. He's talking about Dragon Quest 1. So if you guys missed the lore of this game, there was a huge plot twist, 1988 style, where we found out that this is actually a prequel to Dragon Quest 1. It was pretty clear from the beginning that Dragon Quest 2 is a sequel, so that means that, chronologically speaking, Dragon Quest 2 is it's like the latest in the trilogy. And they decided to end the trilogy with a you know, a prequel. But it was a surprise prequel, a big twist. That was so much fun. So I think he's talking about Dragon Quest 1, when the Dragon Lord comes. I think this game is truly completely over now. My question, though, is can I go back to the overworld, canonically? Because here's the thing, right? So the big plot twist, guys, happens when we find out there's an underworld. The overworld, as it turns out, is like a sky. It's like a sky world. The whole game takes place in a new world, or so we think. We presume that this game has no canonical relationship with the first game, in the second game. But it turns out in the end that actually, underneath our world is the world from Dragon Quest 1 and 2. And this world was covered in darkness forever. And now the darkness is lifted. But I wonder, does that mean that, like, what happens to the overworld? Is it something that's gonna go away, or what? Was there always an overworld and, you know, that we could never reach in Dragon Quest 1 and 2? Or is something happened to the overworld that makes it collapse or something? Alright, let's see here. Final key. Talk to me, dog. Best song of the game. Same dialogue, right? It seems as though the dialogue is tied to the sprite. It's kind of funny. So I could walk from here to any town, but I presume I'm supposed to go to the first town. I wonder if there'll be any special dialogue for the king here. There's also like a secret area down here, right? Secrets? This game's full of secrets. Yeah, so she has the same text as every other lady-type sprite. All the lady-type sprites. One NPCs will be like, "You're still here? Log off, dude. Been playing this game for like 1 billion hours, man. What the fuck? Go do something." The king awaits me. So, okay. The king awaits me. But there's so many kings in this game. I might try to use my... You're the first hero who has ever gone to the Master Archfiend's castle and returned alive. So she has different dialogue for the other lady sprites, right? I wonder if she's a different sprite in some way. Beep, 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 beep. Hooray! Who's that cat over there? Is that cat always there? That looks like a different color cat to me. Hello? Hip hip meow. That's pretty funny. But why a different sprite? Move your ass. The only true king is Nussler. I want to go check out everybody. I don't want to fucking end of the game. Yeah, before I save. But you only save it a king. You know, I could do... No, I probably can change my party. Maybe I can change my party, huh? Hip hip meow. So I'm not gonna go in there. I'm gonna try to use outside first. Or try to use return. Let's use outside first. Nothing happens. That's interesting. So let me kind of use return then. Can I return... Oh, no, I can't. There's no more overworld. Oh, shit! Did it canonically get destroyed then? That'd be fucked up. That's where my fucking mom lives. Oh, well, maybe it's not destroyed. We heard a closing overhead. Maybe the hole closed? So I can't get back? It's still pretty sad. So I can't change my party either. So it sounds like Jeremig is, he's on the... So at least now we're separated from Jeremig forever. There's that little advantage, right? So I can't go visit Nussler either. Alright. I have nothing else to do but go to the king. I can't get home. I was kind of curious to go see some of the dialogue from the NPCs in the overworld. Your mom lived a good life. The end. Bing bong diddly doo. What's up, boss?
Brian, thou hast defeated the Master Archfiend. May I offer thee my deepest gratitude. Due to thine efforts, day has finally dawned again in our country. Brian, thou art a true hero. I hereby bequeath unto thee that which is our country's highest honor, the Order of Erdrick, bearing witness to your status as a true hero.
There you go. I'm Erdrick. I was curious if I was going to be Erdrick or not. Right? Because we know that in Dragon Quest 1 and 2, you're descendants of Erdrick. And this game never tells you what your character's name is. But you can name yourself Brian. So in my mind, I was like, well, you're named Brian, so you couldn't be Erdrick. But I guess you get the title of Erdrick.
Brian, I mean, brave hero of Erdrick. Thou wilt forever remain the stuff of legends of the people of Erdrick.
Aw, damn, this is so cute. Jeremig died sad and alone. I knew it, had a bad feeling. There you go, Asphalt. There was definitely a little bittersweetness there. Yay, dancing goyles. Yay, petting the kitties. Hey, look how townsfolk partying outside the castle. That's hilarious. Everyone's having a great time. Thus a true warrior was born, and Brian became known as Erdrick, hero of Eliahan. There was no equal. However, shortly thereafter, the hero Brian mysteriously disappeared and has not been seen since. Many a story has been told of that darkest of nights when Erdrick left his weapon, armor, and amulet behind. Legend says that they have been handed down to worthy warriors of future generations as the sword of Erdrick, the armor of Erdrick, and the emblem of Erdrick. Indeed, I was there for that.
Thus the legend was born. That's a good game right there. Dragon Quest III Staff.
Cool credit sequence, man. Very ambitious for 1988. You win your prize, a new name, and some lore, Wild John. Some lore. This game has a ton of music. They have a song just for the fucking outro as well. How great is that? Congratulations, you won. Really cool credit sequence here. The most I've ever seen for sure for an NES game, right? Also, great music, man. Koichi Sugiyama. That's my guy! In the other version's remakes, there was some post-game, but it seems the original NES doesn't have one. Interesting, Revolutionary. When was it first added? On Game Boy? Oh, it's a Game Boy version. I think there might even be an SNES version, I think, maybe? Now, of course, there's a new one, a new HD one. I am just in awe of this game. This game would have blown my mind as a kid. It'd blow my mind now, you know what I'm saying? But for 1988, this shit was still ahead of its time. It's ridiculous. This game is so epic. It was just a massive world full of characters, towns, dungeons, classes, equipment, monster types. This game was just fucking huge as shit. It was gorgeous. Great soundtrack as well. I really wonder if Dragon Quest IV could be anywhere near as good as this. It blew my mind, Revolution. It's blowing my mind. Going back and playing these games, I never played on NES as a kid. My first console was a Sega Genesis and an SNES. And going back and playing these 8-bit games, it's really shocking how much the formula was like figured out back then. And to the point where I feel like so many modern games could learn so much from these games. Seems like a great game. Makes sense they released it so many times. I'm looking as much as they could. Yeah. It's huge. You know what I'm saying? It's huge. There's a lot to remake. You know what I'm saying, 4TL? There's a lot to remake. So it does, it's a really epic experience. I can see, like you said, why they'd want to just, instead of making a brand new game, just milk it. Like, redo the graphics, right? That's pretty much all you have to really do is redo the graphics. Because, man, the story it tells and the world it has is just timeless. So I've never played it on GBC, didn't know about it before then. I wonder how the GBC version compares. GBC's got lower resolution. It's got, lower resolution than NES. I can see that being a slight problem. Studio Boo Boo. Great translation in this game as well. For 1988, the localization goes hard. Like, this game is so funny. It's funny. At times, it's very emotional. Mostly, it's funny. And I kind of think that, it's no small feat back in '88 to have a translation this good. It definitely wasn't super common. So I grew up playing JRPGs. That was my favorite genre as a kid. I was obsessed with JRPGs. on the PS1 and PS2 especially. Those are my two favorite consoles, and I've grinded out RPGs on them like crazy. I never really played JRPGs on NES or SNES, but having started on PS1, which was considered by many to be like, you know, like a real peak for the genre, I feel as though a lot of those games on PS1 that I played, they had great production values, great soundtracks, great graphics, cool stories, but the gameplay was oftentimes, you know, pretty brain dead. And this game, it has so much of what I want from a JRPG in terms of the massive size of the world, great soundtrack, you know, appealing visuals. But the gameplay is so goddamn good in this game, from start to finish. So, you know, strategic, tactical, exciting, well-balanced. Never had to grind that much, right, 4TL? Some of you guys have been watching from the beginning of this long play. How many times does this long play actually have to stop and grind? Like, never. Like, the one time I can think of was right before the final boss there. I probably didn't have to do that. And now that it's over, the odd thing I mentioned about Zoma before is you can use healing magic on him and healing herbs, and it hurts him a lot, huh? I wonder if that works in this game. So Rebel played Final Fantasy and SNES. I've heard great things about Final Fantasy and SNES. I want to play more 8-bit Final Fantasies. Not just to make 4TL happy either. Capoeira Enix, based on Dragon Quest III. Based upon Dragon Quest. What the fuck? What are you talking about? Oh, I'm sorry, because it's the localization. To be continued. In Dragon Warrior. If you didn't get it before, now you get it. Man. Every time you talk about what you love about JRPGs, I'm just like, those are what's good about WRPGs, Venka. The fucking actual gameplay part of it. I wonder what that thing is we're looking at right there. I got an orb. An orb? It's changing color. That's fun. Is this kind of code, do you guys think? Why is it changing color like that? This game ruled. This game super ruled. I still don't get it. It's Asmo. What's so great about this game? Dragon Warrior 4 is the final NES Dragon Warrior, and I'm very curious about it, but I became way less curious, guys. I became way less curious when I found out that Dragon Warrior 4 removes this game's class system. You can't reclass in that game. And that would be the first time in the series that they've taken a step back, which makes me wonder. For one thing, it makes me appreciate why people refer to this as the Erdrick trilogy. So although the fourth game is an NES game, I think the first three games are their own separate canon, maybe, but also maybe they represent like an arc for the gameplay, like for the game design. And I suspect that Dragon Warrior 4 might be the game where they remove the detective element. I've been saying to my friends Asmilk, 4TL, Ginseng, and those that have been watching, you know, this long play for a long time, I've been saying that my number one most fascinating thing about Dragon Warrior 3, or this whole series, like Dragon Warrior 1, 2, and 3, right, has been that they have this idea, this game design idea of being a detective where there is no hand-holding, there is no NPC that sets you aside and goes, hey, here's your fucking quest, here's your waypoint marker, right? Instead, it's an open world where you talk to the NPCs and they give you hints. Every NPC, almost every NPC in the game, has a hint for you which will help you with some quest or another. You write them down, you put them together logically, and it's through those hints that you can figure out what you can do and where you can go. And I find that really interesting and super appealing. That being said, I know for a fact, having played about a bazillion JRPGs on PS1 and beyond, that this mechanic never returns to this genre. Right? Like, the genre, you know, this idea of doing detective work to find where you're supposed to go, it does not return in the later JRPGs. Final Fantasy VII and onward, right? Other JRPG franchises, they tend to be, if not totally linear, then at least very guided. Very, very guided. And even in a game that has an open world, right? Like open world environment, which many games do, there tends to be like really the only exploring you do in those games is the physical exploring, right? Like even in a game that has an open world map, you will find out what you're supposed to do by just going around. You just go around and go to the places. You go everywhere you can go, and that's how you figure out what you're supposed to do. But there is no more like talking to NPCs to find secrets and to find out, hints and stuff. And it makes me wonder, at what point does this mechanic leave this genre? And I wonder if it's going to be ending it right here. If Dragon Warrior 4 is going to be a big departure in style from the first 3 games, I wonder if that's going to be where they're going to make a big change. Will we see in that game more of a focus on cutscenes and less focus on NPC dialogue?
That's a good game right there.
FF4 and more so 6 on SS were amazing. I've heard great things about them, Revolutionary. Baldur's Gate times for I beat it, Ryan. I beat this game. I want to boot it up again just get some music here. Let's close it. And then run it. Do. I wish I had saved after all that grinding. Oh well. Who fucking cares? I guess I don't. Okay. Brian.
That's a good game right there, Ryan.
Let's go where there's good music so we can talk about stuff. Since the stream is basically over kind of early, right? Kind of early in the stream, but I kind of feel like, I did what I wanted to do. I'm just basking now, Ryan. I'm just fucking basking. I'm basking Robbins right now. In the afterglow of this fantastic trilogy. Every game in this trilogy was godlike. Every game more godlike than the last. And Dragon Warrior 3, literally one of the best I've ever played in my whole life. This game definitely takes the cake. It could, I think that if I'm being critical of it, if I'm trying to figure out, how a more modern game could approach this game's, level of quality, it would be if it had all this game's strengths, but a little bit more depth. Something more to sink my teeth into regarding character growth. Because in this game, combat is extremely tactical. And I wonder if it could be as tactical if it was more mechanically, deep. Because I think that when you have limited options, it makes it easier to balance a game, right? It's easy to balance a game if there's limited options. I think maybe part of what makes modern JRPGs so easy and boring is that because they have a big emphasis on, character growth and auxiliary mechanics, maybe it's impossible to balance them, right? They're too easy to break. If you really play them with a mind to win, it becomes too easy to break them. Whereas this game, you can't really do that because it's more simple. So it makes the actual thinking part of it more interesting than the character growth part of it. But I still feel as though, if I was going to try to add more to this game, where it would need to be would be something to add some depth. And I'm trying to figure out, as I interrogate this thought, what do I mean by depth? Or what am I really trying to criticize here? Right? This game, I think this game is very simple. This game is super simple, right? But because of the complex way those simple mechanics interact, it creates a very satisfying experience. It's very perfect. It's not that hard to understand. There's very few rules in this game. But the way those rules interact creates an experience that is very, very satisfying, and it makes you think. Every puzzle every fight is a puzzle, and that was really fun. It made the combat really exciting. And when I talk about making it deeper, what I mean is maybe more things to concern myself with. Is that what I'm talking about? Right? Because in this game, the core gameplay is basically talking to NPCs, exploring dungeons, fighting monsters. And I think what I'm really like craving is a fourth thing, which is like managing characters. How about that, right, 4TL? Most modern JRPGs and modern RPGs in general, you do a lot more character management. This game is almost none of that. There's almost no character management in this game. Right, it's very simplistic. You just have your 4 guys, and you can change their class, that's about it. And that's more than you can do in the previous games. Right, this game's character management really boils down to changing their class. And that was a lot of fun, but it could have been a lot more. But if they had done that, I bet you it would have made the game harder to balance by a long shot. Here's I played Dragon Quest VIII, huh? What's your plan for next week? Diving straight into the next long play? Beating Warcraft? That's an idea, 4TL, you know? I could beat Warcraft. My plan was basically to take some time off. You know, just not stream long play for a week. Just have Wednesday and Tuesday, or Monday and Wednesday not be no streams. We could also do just chatting streams to talk about long plays. That could be fun. Or I could beat Warcraft. I was planning to beat Warcraft on Friday streams, but I don't see why I should have to do that. We have, you know, time in between long plays. Could stream Warcraft on Monday and Wednesday, and then stream something else on Friday, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I keep coming back to the same thought, which is that this game in its simplicity, right? So go back to the first game this year. I think the first game's really profound impact it had on me was that you can take a game that's so simple. Dragon Quest 1 is way simpler than this game is. And yet, it's still so much fun and more mechanically interesting than many modern JRPGs. Here's the thing, right? You can make a game deeper. You can make it more convoluted. You can create, like, tasks for the player to think about without making the game actually more interesting. Right? Like, you could add more character growth to this game, give me something to spin my wheels over, but without actually meaningfully improving the experience. I think a lot of modern JRPGs fall into that trap, where we're adding mechanics, we're adding more mechanics, and it might be superficially enjoyable to screw around in all these menus, but is it really meaningfully making the game more satisfying? And Dragon Quest 1 really challenges that notion. Because in Dragon Quest 1, there's nothing. It's just a real bare-bones game. But as simple as it is, what is there is profoundly exciting and interesting. In that game, there's very little to do. But what you do in that game is extremely good. It's still fun. It's still super interesting. You know, the combat in Dragon Quest 1 is more fun than the combat in FF7. And it's not close either. But in 7, you know, you've got materia, you've got, you know, more enemy types, you have more party members, you have, you know, all kinds of things you can do, but it sucks. It sucks. It's not actually interesting. All that shit, like, you guys probably, you know, you guys might be thinking right now, I love materia. I love materia too, right? I love materia. Leveling materia was fun, right? Equipping it was fun. Combining them was fun. But the problem with those things is that the game was so fucking easy, you never really had to do those things. And it probably was that way because they knew that if they made it too hard, it would restrict the choices you could make, right? It limits your creativity. It's kind of like Dark Souls, right? And this is another hot take. There's another hot take here. But I gotta say, I gotta verbalize it. You guys can beat me up later. The reason why Dark Souls is so fucking easy is because they want to encourage player creativity, right? They want you to use the weapon you want to use. They want you to wear the armor you want to wear, right? They want to let you create your build in a thousand different ways. And as a result, if you play Dark Souls with the intention of winning Dark Souls, it's extremely easy. So that's the same problem that I think a lot of JRPGs have. Because they're so character growth focused, they're what I call an alpha game, right? Some of you guys are new to the channel. I haven't had this rant in a very long time, but in my opinion, there's two kinds of games. There's beta games and alpha games. An alpha game is a game that encourages the player to have a power fantasy. And in that power fantasy, they're able to project their will onto the game and play it how they want to play it. That's how I define an alpha game. It's a game that encourages you to play it how you want to play it. And many alpha games are games where you are encouraged or required to create your own difficulty, because by giving the player a million different options, they have made it very easy oftentimes to break the game and to cheese it and to really, just make it trivial. Whereas a beta game is a game that drastically limits a player's options and forces them to use their brain to, solve the problem given to them, right? You have to figure out what to do. Let me put it that way, right? An alpha game, you do what you want to do. In a beta game, you got to figure out what to do. The game gives you a few different tools, and you have to use them to the utmost to survive. And I think that you could take that alpha beta game theory and look at how Dragon Warrior 1 could be more exciting than Final Fantasy VII. Because Dragon Warrior 1 has got very few tools for you to use, but the tools you have to use very intelligently in order to succeed. And that excitement, that challenge, that sense of overcoming something, it creates an experience that to me was extremely satisfying. And I love FF7. I love that game. I love, playing with materia, and I love the story and the graphics and, the music. The whole atmosphere of that game is great. But as for actually fighting monsters and exploring dungeons, it sucks. The game sucks. Right? And actually, fighting random encounters and going through the dungeons, it's just totally brain dead. And that's really a critique I have of every JRPG that I loved growing up. All the PS1 JRPGs, all the PS2 JRPGs, right? They're really brain dead. They're really, first and foremost, an atmospheric experience. They're there to really enjoy the characters and the world, right? To really get lost in an experience of grinding, character growth. You get caught in these, you get caught into this meta of character growth, which is, is very fun. But it's not really, challenging. And I kind of feel as though, the experience, the gratification you have for overcoming a game like Dragon Warrior 1 is somehow more rewarding than overcoming, a more modern, big asterisk, by the way, JRPG. Alpha game, big game, or released game? Yeah, maybe those are kind of poor terms for me to choose, right, Waljon? Not the best terms to use. Yeah, I'll decide what we're going to do, over the weekend, if I want to come back with some streams next week. More mechanics is more better, says Waljon. More mechanics is more to do. Look at you, Heron. That's kind of what I'm getting at, right? Kind of what I'm getting at. Having more to do can be very fun. And, again, if I wanted to add something to this game, I feel like what I would want from this game is just, one more thing to do. Just one more thing to break up the rhythm, I guess. That'd be kind of nice to have. I kind of wish that, this game had a better reclassing system. That could be something in this game to make it, even better, in my opinion, potentially. But like I said, if they did that, it might come at a terrible cost, right, to the actual overall gameplay experience. Things you can do, some can't be done, Asmo, things you can do. Think, have you ever played Golden Sun 1 and 2? I have not played any Golden Sun game, Revolutionary. I owned Golden Sun, but never played it. Even still, some equipment is still borderline unusable, though. Yes, thank you, Ketnika, for mentioning that, too, right? That is really, that weakness in this game demonstrates sort of... Okay, let me walk that thought back here. I was going to say that's an example of, more options does not equal more better, but I can't, in good conscience, really say that. That's really a failure of game design. This game should not have had those. This game would be better for not having those. It would be much better if they could make them actually work better. The problem with that is not that the game gave you too many options. The problem is just that it's just poorly designed in that case. That straight up is broken. This game's mechanic of having gear that you can use in combat to have special effects is broken. They should have been fixed. There's just problems with it. Play Dwarf Fortress Adventure Mode with a peasant build, huh? I know I'm a broken record at this point, but I really do think WRPGs would be one of your favorite genres if you sunk your teeth into a couple of them. Maybe not necessarily the best games to stream, of course. Not sure. Well, I'm sure there's probably an audience for that. I mean, if I streamed Fallout 1, people would probably watch. I've considered trying something like that at some point. I think, you know, what would have made a lot more sense to me, Ass Milk, the gear this game has that has like special functions, they should have been passives. If they had been passives, they would have been way more exciting and way more compelling. Like the lady sword should have a chance to confuse on hit, right? That would make a lot more sense. And if you have a piece of armor that, like, you know, like gives you regen, or, you know, would give you like some kind of a random chance to get like a buff, you know, that'd be kind of fun. But having to, the real problem with the gear in this game that has like special functions is that it takes your turn, and you can't, nothing you could possibly give to an item could make it worth sacrificing a turn for. Turns are too important. One more Punch-a-Buncha. Probably Divinity Original Sin 2, Baldur's Gate 1, or Knights of the Old Republic, huh? I just look at it like, what all can the game throw at you, and how can you react? If there's a bunch of mechanics, then it's harder to think through any given issue. Maybe, Aaron, maybe. I don't know. The NES hardware didn't support passive effects, yeah. I was kind of surprised by John. This game has this ring of healing I have on that makes me heal while I walk. It's a very late game item, and I kind of thought it was kind of amusing that the programmers would even put that in there, considering there's nothing else like it. It's kind of fun. A nice little detail. This game had a lot of nice little details. I think you may like them, especially Golden Sun too, since you like the aspect of having to figure things out and talk to NPCs to get hints and clues. There's a large portion of the game where it doesn't make it obvious at all what to do, and you gotta do a lot of exploring and talking to NPCs. It's just a long-ass game like this was. This game must have taken me, what, like 50, 60 hours to finish? Maybe more? And it was just a thrill ride. There was not really one point in this game I was like bored. I just was having a kick-ass time from start to finish. And that's true for the whole series. Like, really, the first 3 games are kind of the same, you know, kind of a game. I really wonder if Dragon Quest IV is going to feel like an evolution of this, or if it's going to be a whole different kind of a thing. I was really saddened to hear that they removed the class system. That's really dumb. That's a long-ass game right there. Punch-a-Buncha's your walk healing would make sense in the beginning, not at the end when you have 430. Well, to be fair, Punch-a-Buncha, it would have definitely been nice to have earlier, but it still kind of came in clutch-ish. Here's the thing, Punch-a-Buncha. Unlike the other gear in this game that I was complaining about, the ring has its own separate slot. Yeah, I beat the game, Punch-a-Buncha. I just beat the game, and now basically I'm just kind of... I reloaded my save to have some music here to listen to. The screen we're looking at right now is just, you know, just a music screen, basically. I love the bird song. GG's, Punch-a-Buncha! The thing with the ring is the ring had its own separate slot. So there was no opportunity cost for using the ring. So it makes it, you know, actually is pretty decent. The problem with the other gear in the game is the opportunity cost. Right? They're like, hey, use this fucking thing. It will blind all the enemies. Great, man, but I'm just gonna fucking use a spell that hurts them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want to waste my turn using a fucking rock that blinds them. Yeah, but it costs no mana. Well, you know, it still sucks because it has a chance to whiff. Like, it has a pretty high chance to not blind them. When I could just do fucking damage. In general, like Athla points out, you know, this game's fixation with equipment that you can use in combat to take your turn up and have a special effect, they kind of all suck. They all suck. With no exceptions. Except for the fucking, you know, that Stone of Sages at the end. That shit was godlike, the Sage Stone. That was godlike. What's up, Silo? You missed it! I'm sorry, dog, you missed it. You missed a whole lot. I'll just beat the final boss. It was pretty quick. But boy, it was a fun fight. The only one I finished was the first one. Not much of a Dragon Quest guy, huh? For me, I love Dragon Quest 1. I played it in adulthood, never as a kid. And I was just blown away by its genius of its design. And then I played 2, and I think that the things that 2 added were a huge improvement, but that by making the game more dynamic, they made it less balanced. There were some times in Dragon Quest 2 where there was kind of a drag because they made the game more like open, and as a result, the balancing of the dungeons kind of suffered a little bit. And this game is a huge elaboration on 2, and it solves all of 2's problems with balance, while also adding more dynamism by a long shot. And the world is probably like, you know, fucking 4 times as large as any of the previous games. Huge, huge game. So much to do. So many little quests. Great combat. Ugh, love this game. I love the series. I love the first 3 games. I love this trilogy. I played 2, just gave up after getting the 3rd character. I kind of lost interest, or maybe like me. I took me years to beat 2. I played 2 and loved it, and then I took like a 2-week-long break from it, came back and forgot where I was supposed to go. And then I was faced with having to re-explore the whole world and talk to every NPC again, and I was like, nah. So this time, when I streamed Dragon Quest II, I took notes. And for this whole game, I took notes. Every time anyone said anything, I wrote it down. And to me, that's how I would recommend people play this game. I would strongly recommend writing down everything that somebody says to you. In fact, I think that this game would have been a lot harder if I hadn't been taking notes the whole time. It could have had a big pacing problem if I hadn't been taking notes. Because even with my notes, there were a couple times I got stuck. And it took me a pretty long time to get out of that situation. But yeah, 2 is great. I hope you finish it again. Finish it someday, Puncha. I loved 2. I thought 2 was my least favorite of the series, probably. But this game, oh my god, this game. It makes me want to play Dragon Quest IV really bad. But I'm really scared to play it. I don't want to be heartbroken when I play it. Because how are you going to remove the class system? That was so much fun in this game. I'm confused by that. How could you remove the class system? Maybe they added something new to replace it that's even better? Maybe they made it so you can like customize your character's growth somehow? Because really this game's class system, it's simplistic. I guess let me put it this way, right? I think that it's not a sin on its own to remove this game's class system, but it's not really that great of a system. It's a pretty bad system, in fact. Well, that's not fair to say. It's just kind of okay. I would like them to have improved it instead of getting rid of it. But if they replaced it with something better, that's not bad. They could have replaced it with, I don't know, something like maybe more of a character customization. Like maybe you could choose your level up, like choose what stat you level up, something like that. Maybe you have a larger roster of like canonical characters. Oh, for sure, Puncha, yeah. So Puncha, I don't like the music. The music, I can see how it could be very divisive. This game is one of those beepy, boopy games I've ever played in my life. I think that all 3 games have a great soundtrack for the era. Right, for the era. This game has a timeless soundtrack for any era. But it is very, very beepy, boopy. It could definitely get on your nerves if you don't like chiptune type stuff. Even if you do like chiptune type stuff, it could be very repetitive. This game has a much larger soundtrack than the first 2 games, so there's like less repetition. But yeah, I always thought the music was very charming, but I can see how it could definitely get on your nerves. As for the menu thing, this is by far the worst thing about this whole trilogy. Not even close. There's no contest. The worst thing about the series so far has been the motherfucking UI. And thankfully, it's not that bad with experience. Like, after a little while, you get used to it. But there are still some times where it's totally busted. Like, you know, like I said, I always say that dealing with the vault guy in this game, where you have to, like, store and withdraw items from the shop or from the bank, it's the worst. It's the fucking worst. Trying to use spells in a complex way can be kind of annoying in this game. But overall, you know, the UI did not, you know, meaningfully detract from the experience for me personally. After getting used to it, it's kind of a drag. The game would be better if they fixed it. No doubt. Yeah, so I kind of it was very fun. I remember the search of where to put your 6 orbs. Yeah, it was fun. It was challenging. It was frustrating. There was, 2 times in the game I got stuck. And it's very frustrating, but I'm really grateful that I was able to solve those problems without having to use a guide. Ugh, God, I'm just really just lost still while I'm just basking. I'm just basking how great this game was. Yeah, while I'm the do. Yeah, the beep boops were a lot of fun in this game. This game's soundtrack in general has been really great. And the visuals, you know, this game has the best graphics in any game in the trilogy so far. This is the first game in the series to adopt like a, you know, it's not straight top down, it's got a little bit of 3D depth to it. But not by much. I like the FF soundtrack's better. FF2 World Map song gets stuck in my head all the time. I really enjoyed Final Fantasy 1 a lot. I think that it does not compare, certainly this game is just a lower FF1, for sure. And I think that, in general, compared to Dragon Quest, Final Fantasy 1 was not as good. It was a great game. I'm glad I played it. I was really surprised how much I liked it. I thought that it would be a lot worse than it was for being the first game of the FF series. But I do think that its big problem it had was balance. Huge problem with balance. It never felt as solid as this game does in terms of combat. This game's combat just felt more like responsive. Final Fantasy's combat, it had some major issues all throughout the game. In the beginning especially. Even by the end, it still felt a little bit wonky. There's a bird! FF6, CT, Chrono Trigger, FF4, Breath of Fire 2 were my first RPGs that listened to this very much. And listened to this as very meh, huh? Yeah, going back into the 8-bit games. I never played Breath of Fire 1 or 2. I played them very briefly, but not extensively. I played Breath of Fire 3 and 4 and loved the fuck out of them. But again, you know, I look back on those games and think about, compared to this game and other games on NES, man, they're easy. There's really no challenge, right? There's no challenge in those games. There's simply no challenge. It's just, you know, here's an enemy, use the menu and kill them for free. They have great soundtracks, I'll punch a bunch of it. Breath of Fire 1 and 2. I own those games on SNES. I have the cartridges, but never played them. I bought them in adulthood as a collector. Let's change the song up here, guys. I'm not ready to end the stream. I'm having too much fun talking to you guys. But I do need to... I'm sorry. Get out of the damn bird. There you go. I can return to Tantagel. Another good song here. Two best songs in the game. You playing 4 next? Almost certainly not, Punch Punch. Almost certainly not. I am not committed. I'm not committed to not playing 4 next. But I am... There's like a less than 5% chance I'm going to play 4 next. I'm very curious about 4. And I'm so much in love with this game that that curiosity is virtually rabid. I want to play 4 so bad. And that would mean I would complete the collection of NES Dragon Warrior games. That'd be very novel to be able to say that I beat every NES Dragon Warrior. That being said, I don't really have high hopes for it. I expect for 4 to not be as good as this game. My presumption is that the series peaked with this game. And partially it's because people to this very day, like in fan communities, are still obsessed with this game. And you never hear about Dragon Quest 4, or 5, or 6, or 7. All of the games you hear about in the series are Dragon Quest 3 and 8, are the 2 that people talk about. And now 11, right? You always hear about 3 and 8, and to an extent 11. I heard the remake of these games on DS or 3DS, I forget, is the way to go, huh? Oh, get some sleep, Asmok. Have a good rest. So I hear you're not feeling your best. We beat the baddie, yay! Kettengrad go burr to the very, very end. First one Punch Punch touched was 7 on PS1, huh? I heard that this game and 7 are the only 2 in the series, Punch Punch, that have a class system like this. Where you can, like, you know, reclass your characters and stuff. Maybe I'm misinformed in that respect. I really feel as though our next long play is probably going to be Elden Ring. But I really don't know. To be very honest, guys, I don't want to play Elden Ring. I don't want to play Elden Ring, but I think it would make for good content. It would make for good content, and also I told some of my friends that, you know, there's a let me rephrase that. It's almost a certainty that our next long play will be our last long play. I think that Elden Ring would be very fitting for that. I know I would enjoy Elden Ring. I would enjoy Elden Ring. I know you guys would enjoy Elden Ring. People would come to watch the channel, haven't watched it in years, watch Elden Ring. But I'm not that curious about Elden Ring. That's my thing, right? I'm not curious about it. I already know what it is. I love Dark Souls, Asmok. I love Dark Souls. I love that formula. I love the atmosphere. I love the core gameplay. It's a lot of fun, but I already know what it is. I'm not that interested in it on that level. FF3 is all about the class system. I wonder if it's something about the third in a series. I wonder, Fortiel. Insilos says here, I enjoyed Elden Ring as someone that's never beaten a Dark Souls game. Yeah, so it definitely was a big jumping on point for a lot of players getting into the Dark Souls series for the first time. I've been watching a friend play Elden Ring lately. It looks great. I'm sure I would love it. But again, I'm not that curious about it. I'd rather play a game that I'm curious about. There's a lot of games that would excite me creatively. I'm not sure Elden Ring really would. But it would be something we could do very mindlessly. So, you know, our channel, Asmo, we would have no channel here if not for Dark Souls. I'm really lucky that the first game I began as I streamed as a streamer was Dark Souls. Because there's something about Dark Souls' formula that draws in viewership. People find it very exciting, fascinating, easy to watch, easy to get into. And as a streamer, it was great as a streamer. Because it's so easy. Dark Souls games are so easy. You can just play them and just talk the whole time. And it was very exciting that way, just to kind of talk while I'm playing. It makes it a lot of fun. We had so many great conversations playing Dark Souls. I'm sure that Elden Ring will be the same way. Right? It's a game you put on to just talk over. And a lot of the games that I am the most curious about, they're not really that way, right? Like Dragon Warrior for sure has not been that way. I've mostly been, talking about the actual game as I'm playing it. Talking about the notes I'm taking, where we're going, what we're doing, what's the strategy. Dark Souls games, you can talk about anything while you're playing them. And that can make them a lot of fun, I think, for viewers. But Elden Ring is just, I like Dark Souls, but Elden Ring, there's just something about it. It's just... Fortiel says here, I don't know what would be a good final long play. Yeah, it's sad, Fortiel, it's sad. When Elden Ring came out, Horizon Zero Dawn came out. I played the shit out of Horizon while everyone was game-gasming over Elden. When I was done with Horizon, I tried Elden, and I was disappointed. I think that Horizon is ironically very underrated. Maybe because I never thought before Punch a Bunch it could be because of Elden Ring. Because they come at the same time, right? Horizon, when it came out, I was like, man, fuck this game, Horizon, man. This is another goddamn big budget AAA exclusive, fucking game, right? I don't give a shit about these goddamn big open world Ubisoft games. Which, it's not literally Ubisoft, but in that style of play, right? PS1 exclusive, PS4 exclusive. I went through every PlayStation there. PS4 exclusive, fucking open world. Wander around, hit guys with a fucking club, right? Whatever. It's a bunch of bullshit. And then I never played it. I saw the trailers. And then my brother got it, and I watched him play it for like 30 hours, and that game is fucking amazing. Horizon Zero Dawn, dude, like, it really defies the traditional perspective, or the traditional, like, archetype of a AAA game, like a modern AAA game, because that game is AAA. But you can see where every dollar went more than in most other AAA games. Like, they clearly had some very talented individuals that they paid a lot of money. The world, the visuals, the lore, the voice acting, the game design, everything about it was just peak. And you're like, damn, like, if you have money, you can make a good game? That's crazy. You just gotta pay the right guys, I guess. That's what I mean. That's why I said ironically, Asmo. That's why I said ironically. Because it was AAA and underrated. But I think it's pretty ironic. People really slept on Horizon Zero Dawn. Like, no one cared about it at all. But I think it's a really amazing game. Like, I think it's truly like a shockingly amazing game. The world and the story was a definition of epic, says Punch a Buncha. I heard that the sequel was not quite as good, as the original one. But yeah, I played Horizon with my brother, and he played, I watched, and I was just in awe, Asmo, the whole time. I was like, holy shit, like, you can make a game like this? A human being can make a game like this? What the fuck? It's very ironic to say that a AAA game could be underrated, but I think it really is. And maybe, Punch a Buncha is right, that it has something to do with Elden Ring coming out at the same time. Or the fucking, the woke-ass female protagonist design. Do 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 do.
They're like, you play as a girl?
Yeah.
Can I look at her titties?
No.
Man, this game's boring.
No. But yeah, I was just really impressed with Horizon. But I'm playing that game someday. I played both, and Horizon's definitely better, so it's getting me rad. Better than Elden Ring. It 100% has something to do with Elden Ring, and yes, wokeness over the years damaged it.
Can I play as a fucking guy?
No.
Can I take her top off?
No, you can't.
Man, fuck this game.
I gotta be careful. I've been throwing the word woke around a lot with a lot of irony. And I think that it's going to be too easy at some point to not understand that I'm being ironic.
Oh, you can. You definitely can.
Do 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 do. Ah, Elden Ring. I want to play Elden Ring, Asmo. I'm not really sure I want to play it on stream. I want to play it someday for sure.
They made her ugly on purpose. I can't even jerk off to her. Too woke.
What the fuck? You were being ironic when you talked about how woke is the source of all evil? Unsubscribed.
They're ugly on purpose to fucking appease the libs.
Pander. They call it pander, not appeasing, but pandering.
They're pandering.
So if they gave her giant tits, that wouldn't be pandering? That's not pandering. Okay. So, because this very much conventionally attractive female protagonist is not coded as being as sexually stimulating as you need, that's pandering.
She has hair on her body. Ew. Ew.
That would be unrealistic. It's not like I don't want to play. I do want to play Elden Ring. I want to play it pretty badly, honestly. It's just... I wouldn't want to play... Here's another thing, right? This is going to put a dour on the tone of the stream. I apologize. Last time I mentioned this, it made stream very dour, but it's a reality, and I want to be transparent, and I want to be vulnerable with you guys. But, you know, I mentioned last time that I've been saying for years that our stream's future is uncertain because of the lack of financial support. Not that anyone here has not supported the channel enough. You guys have supported the channel beyond my wildest dreams. But simply because I have failed to broaden our audience to the point that, you know, the channel can receive more support. And at this point, you know, I can no longer say that. The stream's future is certain, which is that it's going to be getting major cutbacks. Major cutbacks. At the very least. Because, again, I've failed to make the stream financially viable, I can no longer keep doing it the way that I've been doing it. And I've been heartbroken about that for weeks. That being said, when I feel as though you're going to stream every game ever made, it makes it a lot easier to play games that you want to play. Right? But when you're looking at the stream as like, now I only have time for one more long play before it's time to fucking, you know, go get a job, then suddenly it becomes very hard to choose, right? Isn't that funny, Asmo? With only time for one more game to play, I feel like, you know, Elden Ring is a really safe bet in terms of, you know, one big appeal. I consider that too. I thought about that for TL. I don't think I want to do that though. I thought about doing like a GoFundMe, but it's not realistic, for one thing. And even if it was, even if I could raise enough money for another year of Vencabot, it would be taking more from you guys, and you guys already give so much, and I don't want to do that. Like I said, the whole reason that the stream is you know, was never a big success financially is not because anyone here did not support the channel enough. You guys support the channel to an insane degree. It's just because I couldn't broaden our viewership to the point where we could have more people. My goal would be to have everyone support the channel less, right? It's really humbling, and it's really, you know, emotional for me to look at the amount of support that people have given the channel over the years, who have been supporting the channel over the years, right? Like the dollar value is ridiculous. I would have loved to have had, you know, more viewership and have had each person have to, you know, donate less to keep the channel going. It's really frustrating that people have been putting in fucking, you know, more than $10 a month in many cases, to keep the channel alive. But, yeah, if I put up a GoFundMe, again, the problem with that is that, you know, I think that A, it would be very unlikely to succeed. But B, even if it did, the ones that would be donating would be the ones that have already donated so much. This is not realistic. That's not going to be a solution. But yeah, Elden Ring, I think that one of the big appeals of Elden Ring is that it would bring back a lot of old friends. Because I think that, you know, a lot of people that I know through this stream, they don't come watch Dragon Warrior. They're just not into the 8-bit games. They're like Punch a Bunch of the beep boops scare them off. If I played Elden Ring, at least people would come and watch, and it could be a fun celebration of our channel's history. You know, we could talk to everybody again. Even if it's not the game that I would play if I had time to play every game I ever wanted to play on stream. I love the beep boops. I'm thinking somebody else. Ooh, ooh. There's other games I would love to play long plays of, including Final Fantasy 13. I would consider doing a long play of. We could do a long play of the entire FF13 series, but I think that there's multiple levels of how that doesn't appeal as much as Elden Ring, right? I think that in terms of viewership, it's not going to appeal as much as Elden Ring would. And also, I think that as a host, it would not be as easy to host FF13. Fuck, just play Elden Ring, dude. Just fucking play Elden Ring, dog. I probably will, Smoke. Almost. I'm leaning very strongly toward Elden Ring. It's not that bad. I don't think it's gonna be. I'm gonna love Elden Ring. I'm gonna love Elden Ring. But my personality, I expect I'm gonna love that game. It's just, like I said, the one reason I wouldn't want to play it is that I'm just not that curious about it. I don't find it that interesting. Once I'm playing it, it'll be fun, for sure. I'm gonna have fun playing it. But it's not really something I would want to... Or how about this, Assmilk? A big part of my creative ambition as a streamer has been to show you guys things. I love showing you guys things. I love playing indie games and retro games you guys might have missed. But Elden Ring is kind of the contrary to that whole ideal, right? Like, fucking everyone's played Elden Ring except for me. Like, I'm not curious about it, and you guys ain't curious about it. But you guys would come watch it. I think it's a very easy game to watch. How about the Japanese Elden Ring type game with samurais, huh? I guess it's coming out soon, right? But it's not out yet, though. I don't have a PS5. I played the demo for that game, and it was fucking ass. Holy shit. You mean Elden Ring? Guys, I played the demo for Rise of the Ronin. That game is... Let me rephrase that. That demo was fucking trash. I love Team Ninja. I love Neo. I love Ninja Gaiden. But that game, the demo for Rise of the Ronin, oh man, it was bad. I played it on my friend's PS5. But now it's coming to Steam. And I'm not sure what the release date is on the Steam version, but, you know, I'm interested in it. I'm curious about it. More so than I am about fucking Elden Ring. But, yeah, again, people wouldn't come watch that. That's the one big thing about Elden Ring is that I know people would come watch it. Even dicks would watch it. And I love dicks. No, the one from 16th century, and the name doesn't come to mind. Is not Rise of the Ronin? Oh, Ghost of Tsushima. Oh. Is that on PC yet? It might be by now. It is on PC. Okay, well, let's go look at it, guys. Alright, still, maybe I'll stream for another 20 minutes here. I love dicks too. I miss dicks. I miss dicks a lot. More than you could ever possibly realize. I think there's no one on this earth that understands how much I love dicks. I'm talking about my friend Dick Sucker, not literal phalluses. Dix is the guy that changed my life. And he was this channel's biggest supporter in terms of him being here for the longest time of anybody. Dix is probably this channel's historically biggest supporter in terms of you know, being active in the chat. And I've made a lot of friends over the years that I'm extremely grateful for, obviously. I mean, it's something that that has been the leading motivator for me as a streamer. But man, do I love Dick Sucker, and I miss him so much. Every fucking day I think to myself, God, I hope Dix is doing really well. I think I've seen him since Buncha Buncha. He comes by, you know, I'd say like maybe once every couple weeks lately, just to say hi. And it always is like the highlight of my fucking night. I'm talking about Menace. Came out 2 months ago. I think I didn't know that. Okay. $60, huh? I should add it to my wish list. I've been kind of curious about this game. I would not stream it before I stream Elden Ring, though. This could never out-yap me. Thank you, Asmal, for being here so much. You're a big part of the reason why I love to stream. You and 4TL, you know, 3Venge, Neon Riot. Lately, Wild John. People that come by and are pleasant in the chat and make it fun. Obviously, you know, as a streamer, it makes my life so much more exciting and rewarding. Basically, when I'm saying to myself, man, I'm tired, I don't want to fucking stream today, I think to myself, maybe Athmilk will be there. That's why I stream. And that's who Dix was for years and years and years and years and years. Like, I would know that when I would start streaming, he would be there, and it made it so much easier to turn the stream on. Let's go to istthereanydeal.com. Let's see here. Ghost of Tsushima. Dee 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 dee. Ooh, ooh. 8 years, Revolutionary. 8 years, full-time streaming. 8 years, 5 nights a week. 5-6 hours of stream. New videos live every day on YouTube that whole time. We have more than 4,000 videos on YouTube, each one about 2 hours long, Revolutionary. It's so many videos. 4,000. Jesus, bunch of Jesus. I own Elden Ring. I don't have the DLC. If I was going to stream it, I'd want the DLC. Shadow of the Erd Tree Edition. Deluxe Edition? What the hell is this? Premium Bundle, huh? Has the art book and soundtrack, I see. Ooh. What is the Erd Tree Deluxe Edition? Okay. It includes the expansion, the Elden Ring digital art book and soundtrack. Oh, and the soundtrack as well for the... I see. So you get the art book and soundtrack for the main game and for the DLC. I see. So Erd Tree on its own costs $40. Shadow of the Erd Tree. It's on sale right now for $30 on Game Belay. Let's go look at my wish list, huh? Okay. Elite Dangerous. It's so funny. It's always on sale for $6, and I never have bought it, even though it's on my wish list. It's almost more like a reminder to buy this game than it is a wish list, right? Like, just buy it eventually. Like, don't forget to buy it at some point. So Tsushima's on sale right now for $53. FF13's on sale. Ninja Gaiden Collection. I love those games. Surge 2 and World of Final Fantasy. Is there any storyline to Elden Ring, or is it just boss and enemies one after another until the credits pop up? No, there's a storyline. I've been watching a friend, so basically until the last 2 weeks, I've never seen any footage of Elden Ring. I've been watching my friend play it lately on their stream, and I've been watching it a lot. And so it's going to be a lot of spoilers for me, basically. But yeah, I've been kind of surprised. It's a lot more story-focused than Dark Souls is. Dark Souls, has a story that you kind of have to go out of your way to find. Whereas in Elden Ring, it's really more of a focus. And that's kind of, it's a good and a bad thing. It's not necessarily a bad thing. It's actually kind of fun. It's kind of nice. But also, you do kind of lose something, I think, it's fair to say. By having it be more story-focused, there is something being lost. It's not all a benefit to have it be, more story. What you're losing is something kind of subtle. I've been thinking about playing Elite again lately, the original Elite. I've also been thinking about fucking trying to play some No Man's Sky off-stream, but I've just been too busy lately. I've never played No Man's Sky off-stream, but I played it on-stream one time, and it was really obnoxious and boring, but in kind of like an addictive way. I kind of want to play it again. Is that a Avowed game coming out? So what the hell's Avowed? Is that a game? Hasn't it been in Silo? This game's fucking $70. Jesus. It's a first-person fantasy RPG set in the world of Eora, where your choices carve a path through war, intrigue, and ancient mysteries. Navigate a land in turmoil, forge powerful alliances or deadly rivalries, and wield magic and steel to shape the fate of the living lands and your own destiny. WRPG, baby! 4tail likes it. It looks good. Now I was just about to fucking shit on it. Why? But it's not out yet. I have a new idea in Silo. I've been meditating on this lately. I am notoriously a hater. Whenever anyone comes by the stream and says, "Hey, Vencabot, did you hear about blank?" I almost always shit on whatever they're saying. Because of my anti-capitalist, anti-consumer culture tendencies. That being said, I've been thinking about, how can I kind of like, how can I justify that when I would also love to hear the same thing about an indie game? And it struck me. You know what I really am annoyed by? I'm annoyed by pre-release hype. Like, hype a game to me that you have played and that you love all day long. I love that. When someone says to me, think about it, I love this game. I've been playing it. It's great. Here's my thoughts about it. There's very few things in the world I'd rather hear than your thoughts about a piece of media. I love hearing that shit from you guys. But what I really am annoyed by is this sense that a game is being marketed and I'm not watching the ads for it because of my proclivities. But there are people around me who are watching the ads for it and they become the ads for it, right? Our culture is making us into walking advertisements for things we have not even experienced yet. Why? Because somebody likes the trailer for it, right? Or they like the IP attached to it. Yo, Vencabot, you hear about that fucking new Final Fantasy game? No. Well, they just announced it. What do I care if somebody announced a Final Fantasy game? Of course there's going to be more. I mean, it's not a surprise. There's another Final Fantasy game. Right? Did they say what it's going to be about? Well, no, they announced there's going to be an announcement next week. So what you're telling me is that because you are so obsessed with Final Fantasy as a brand, that as soon as someone says the words Final Fantasy, immediately you are fumbling for your wallet? How about wait until there's a fucking trailer, and then even better yet, wait until, someone's played the game to let you know if maybe it's completely ass. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine. That being said, it strikes me that maybe what really bothers me is pre-release hype. It's not that, people are excited about games. It's not as though I'm annoyed that people are recommending things to me. What annoys me is when people around me are hyping up a game that has not yet been released. And I'm thinking about from now on, that's how I'm going to look at it. All right, like please don't try to hype me up about a game that is not launched yet. Your answer should be, how are you paid to tell me that you goddamn walking banner, huh? Not at all. I appreciate that I'm especially an asshole about marketing. I really, 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 really hate marketing as a rule. And that extends to video games, maybe more than anything, because I love video games so much. They just announced it. Was anyone's guessed on how I didn't have heard about it yet? Venka announced that somebody in chat announced that Final Fantasy announced that they will soon make an announcement about the next FF game. No way! I think that, a lot of people around me, game hype is something in their life that gives them some comfort and excitement. And I feel bad when I fucking shit on it. But at the same time, I'm acutely sensitive to topics relating to, again, consumer culture. I find it really frustrating that we live in a world where we are so brainwashed by advertising that we, desperately look forward to being advertised to. Yeah, I hope you're right, Inside. I hope you're right. And I think in Silo as well, of course, Elder Scrolls needs a competition, for sure. Elder Scrolls needs competition. Because fucking Bethesda, man, they out here stay fucking up, dude. They stay fucking up. So to have another big studio, try to make an Elder Scrolls competitor, I like that idea. I'm more excited that it's an Obsidian Entertainment game coming out than not a fantasy RPG, huh? And not a fantasy RPG? Oh, I see what you mean. Well, actually, I'm not quite sure what you mean by that. Because it looks like a fantasy RPG, right? This is a fantasy RPG. Which means that you're more excited that it's a Obsidian game than you are excited that it's a fantasy RPG, if I understand you correctly. Maybe it's not. I mean, this guy has a gun. Are you trying to say it's not a fantasy RPG, maybe? I like how you talk with your hand using the mouse cursor to help emphasize your point. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Did anybody else notice that? Just me. It's got a very unique aesthetic. Kind of reminds me of like a highly saturated like Diablo aesthetic. To be fair, I also have not played Diablo. As I understand it, the new Diablos, 3 and 4 are kind of colorful. Ooh. Using a mouse. Let's open the Steam library, huh? I think I'm going to say goodnight here in about 20 minutes, guys. Thank you for your patience. Hope you guys had a lovely evening. I had a really great time playing Dragon Warrior. Whoa, what the hell? Listen, don't ever start playing shit. Ever. I think if I was supposed to be like a sort of sequel, maybe like in the same universe, perhaps, as Pillars. I've not played Pillars. Pillars is a game that kind of went under the radar, I feel like. It had a lot of pre-release hype, and then it came out, and I presume that everyone that wanted to play it, played it. I've heard some people say that it was a little bit lackluster, but my expectation is more so that the demographic of people that play Pillars of Eternity are not the most vocal demographic, right? Like, when Dark Souls is coming out, people lose their shit because of the demographics of it. But the kind of people that play Pillars of Eternity, they're probably being real quiet about it. They're loving it and just loving it. They're happy they're just loving it. They're not actually, they don't gotta tell you that they're loving it, you know what I'm saying? They are good games. Is there more than one game in that series, 4TL? Maybe time to kill the music here, huh? Let's do that. Here's what I'll do, guys. Some of you guys already know. Oh. Oh. Pfft, that's annoying. When I pressed the fucking the menu button on my controller, Steam stole focus. Here's my advice to you guys. Buy your games on GOG and on itch.io. And on literally any platform but Steam. Closed content? Yes. Buy your games on Epic Game Store. Buy your games on the Ubisoft Store. Buy your games on the Ubisoft Store in Silo and have a way shittier experience than you would on Steam. Just have a shitty experience on the Ubisoft Store. Just buy the game on the worst platform. Why would you do that? Just so Steam is less of a monopoly. That's the only reason. There's 2 Pillars. Oh, I didn't know that. 4TL, nice. Caves of Cud is a very, well-reviewed, cult classic game. I've heard a lot of great things about it. I think I have a friend of a friend of a friend who worked on the game. I think. I've got an idea here, guys. Let's open this up and open this up. Get my other keyboard. Type in some magic words here. Ready for this, guys? Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Only nihilists buy an Ubisoft store, says Puncha Puncha. I was trying to make a point there, Puncha Puncha, right? I'm making a point that sometimes there's a reason to buy something that's going to be a worse experience for you. That's unfortunate that we live in such a world. If capitalism worked correctly, that would never be a situation we would be in. We should always buy the best thing, right? Isn't that the point of capitalism? We should buy the best thing. We should buy whatever is the best. And then, if somebody else wanted our money, they would make a better thing. That's how it's supposed to work. But in reality, because of, these huge monopolies, because of the fact that, it's hard to break into an industry when there's a really well-funded platform in that space already. In the case of Steam 4TL, right? Of Steam, it's very hard to get off of Steam, even if, let's say for instance, one day Epic Game Store, you know, they have this kind of new feature that makes the platform better than Steam. The fact of the matter is that because all of your games are already on Steam, all your friends are on Steam, it's going to be very hard to escape from Steam. Now, we live in a world where that's not the case. To be honest, Steam is still the best platform in terms of technology to buy games on, also in terms of price, right? I think Valve's done a really great job of providing a very positive customer experience that is, it justifies their market share. But at the same time, I can't help but be extremely concerned at the level of power Valve has over PC gaming on account of them being the only marketplace people use to buy games. And so, in the case of good old games, GOG, you get DRM-free games. Hey, that's a really great sell, right? On itch.io, you support indies directly. Also a pretty good sell. Also, they got some pretty nice games on there because it's all indie games. But in other cases, it might still be important to use platforms that are not Steam, if only just to take money from Steam, just to create more competition in the market, just to make them a little more nervous, even if the experience that you're having as an end user might actually be inferior. And that sucks. That sucks. We have to do that sometimes. What was that old DOS puzzle game you played with a while back? I played this game called The Incredible Machine in Silo. That's like a physics one, right? That was really cool. I believe we finally beat it. I think we did every stage. Wouldn't it be funny if I was wrong? Definitely, have you seen CoffeeZilla's latest video on gaming and gambling? I have not, but I'm not even sure who CoffeeZilla is. Is that a really good channel on YouTube? That was a really fun game in Asylum. It's a shame that it had really bad music. It had really, really bad music. It was really fun. I think I did for it. I think I beat it completely. I think we finished every single map. I have my games categorized on Steam into these groups. Highly interested games. Games I liked but will not play again. Games I never played. Right? So there's kind of like, you know, games that I'm almost interested in playing for that reason. And games that are simply bad. And I'll never play again on that basis. It's worth a watch, and I'll explain a few things about what you're just saying about how big Valve is. Yeah, Valve is becoming pretty scary, and once they have, you know, and they want money more than like any business. So you give a business that much power, and they're gonna start, you know, exploiting you. Quite bad. Okay, this is all quite bad, huh? Yeah. Or offline. Yeah, definitely feel that way about those games. How about the ones I'm highly interested in? What do we got here? That's kind of cool. I can look at them all on a big, you know, graphic display. Unfortunately, you know, it's not necessarily always clear. It's more clear just to read the list textually. 30XX. Got new updates recently, huh? Axiom Verge. Batman games. Beacon Pines. Clawdoon. Devil May Cry 5. DMC Devil May Cry. Elden Ring. In Xylo, play Fight and Rage, dude. This game is super underrated. Juice Universe. Is that in my list? Did they change the name from Juice Galaxy? I think that's a game I only probably have it on Steam, or on itch.io. It's worth the watch, and it'll explain a few things. I'm sorry, you already said that. Just play Juice World again, huh? Yeah, it's called Juice Galaxy now, yeah. That game's really cool, 4TL. I played it at a friend's house a couple months ago. I was disappointed by its slow progress. You know, it's a really cool game, but it hasn't really become any more solid of a game. DMC was so good. You mean the one that everybody hates, Puncha? I've not played that one. I heard that it's one of those games that people are looking back more fondly on now that time has passed. A Hat in Time. I want to play this game again, too. Sleeping Dog, I kind of want to play pretty badly. The 2014 was good. I still remember the birthed Devil Baby, but I'm sure it's not as good now in 2024, huh? Yeah, when it came out, a lot of fans shed on it. I'm sure that it's probably good for what it is, but maybe it doesn't compare favorably to DMC 3 and 4. That could be the source of frustration. Sometimes things are good on their own, but when you compare them to other things, you realize that they're not as good as they should be. Tunic. Can I add games from here to my highly interested list, I wonder? Anything here, like After Image? I'm kind of curious about After Image. What else we got here? Baldur's Gate 1 and 2. Ooh, Bone Razor Minions. Ooh, that's a good game right there. Probably, technically, DMC 3 gameplay was godlike, but I remember not liking 4. Is that funny, Punch? I kind of feel the same way. I think 4 is super overrated. I think 4 is a good game. But I think that the amount of fan worship that 4 got, especially after DMC came out, where people really hated DMC so much, I think that kind of resulted in a new appreciation for DMC 4. But more DMC 4, I find it to be pretty dull. Baldur's Gate, play some Western RPGs, Vencabot. It's Baldur's Gate. If BG wasn't $100 long, I would try to sell you on it right now. Dude, play this fucking Baldur's Gate, dude. What are you fucking doing? Play a Western game for a change. Why go play these Japanese games? It's always Japanese games and indie games with you, Vencabot. How come you can't just play a goddamn Western game like a man? It's the aesthetic. I grew up playing JRPGs, and so I'm very biased to Japanese aesthetic. When someone's like, hey, dude, you can play as an elf or a dwarf in this game. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to be an elf or a dwarf. I want to have fucking cat ears. They're like, dog, you fucking weeb, dude. Be a fucking elf for once in your life. You might like it. Give it a college try. Okay, listen, I'll fucking compromise with you. Can I be a dark elf? They're like, fine. You can be a dark elf, you fucking weeb. Okay. I want to be a chibi demon. I want to be a child that's 1,000 years old. Be a fucking elf. So I'm saying, dude, just be a fucking elf. Have you been an elf before? No. Well, then how do you know you're not going to like being an elf? Cats and their animals on a farm. That was a surprisingly godlike game. Code Vein. That game's underrated. Be a lizard person, right, Fortail? You can be a lizard. Can't be lizard people enough in JRPGs, that's true. That's super true. I can only think of one game where you can be a lizard person in a JRPG, and that was Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. Dandala, Trials of Fear. Dee 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 dee. I kind of feel like it's got to be Elden Ring. I feel like I've got no choice. If I want... Yeah, I think that the real appeal of Elden Ring for me is the fact that I think it would bring people back to the channel. It'd be nice to see everybody again. It would be, you know what's kind of bad about Elden Ring, though? It would bring Souls people to the channel. If I played Elden Ring, I would love to get people back that I haven't seen in a long time. But we also meet a bunch of new people. And half of them are going to be great. They're going to be great. The other half are going to be fucking assholes. Who are just going to be like, would you mind if I spoiled something for you? There's something in this area, but you're never going to find it on your own. But if you want, I can tell you. And I'll be like, don't tell me. And they're going to be like, okay. If you change your mind, let me know. And then 10 minutes later, they're going to be like, you know, it would really help you out if you knew this one secret. All you gotta do is ask me. No, dude, I don't want to know. I'd rather not have it, to be very honest with you. I'd rather not. If I can't find it, I don't want to have it. You're missing out, dog. You know what I'm saying? You're missing out, dog. He doesn't give a single fuck about Souls games, huh? But we're here for the final long play. To be fair, Fortail, we had a final long play before, years ago. And circumstances changed, and the long plays came back. But I don't want to get anybody's hopes up. This is definitely not that kind of situation. Last time I was going to go off of long plays, I had this idea of changing the long play time slot to being a casual games time slot, where I would play casual games and focus more on... Okay, let me rephrase that. I was going to focus on, like, just chatting mostly, but I was going to play gacha games. And I believed at the time that gacha games would be a big draw for the channel. And I don't doubt that they would have been. But in retrospect, I made the right move. I decided not to go that way. I decided to keep long plays going. And my ultimate fear came true. That was around the time that long plays began to diminish in popularity. And they've only diminished since then in popularity. So if I had gone to another kind of content than long plays, perhaps I would not be in the situation right now. Perhaps the stream would still be going, you know, strong. If I changed my content direction from long plays. That's before I ever met you, Fortiel. But boy, in retrospect, that was a really bad idea. To play gacha games on stream, that would have been a nightmare. A huge nightmare. A huge nightmare. I'm so glad I didn't do that. I would rather never stream again than stream only gacha games. You want people, you gotta go. Politics seems to work for a lot of people on politics streams. Elden Ring's gonna be the move. I'm just, you know, stalling because I don't want to end the stream. I'm just enjoying your guys' company so much. I should probably say goodnight. I don't think I'm going to find a game here that's going to make me realize that Elden Ring is not the move. A lot of these games seem like they could be a lot of fun, but they're not going to be the move for a long play. It's going to really, you know, excite the channel. What's gacha? Like a gacha game, punch, like a mobile waifu game, basically. It's a term, you know, like gacha. Like I'll put it in the chat. You know what I'm talking about. Punch. You've seen the term before. Gotcha. A gacha game. It's like a mobile game, a phone game where it's like an RPG usually, and the whole premise of it is that it's all about collecting characters, basically. It's like a card game, really. Kind of, right? Fortail would be offended by that because it's not really like a card game. It's really more like a collecting game. They're collecting games, what they are. They're games where the real point is to collect things, but there's usually a superficial asterisk. You know, some games have more mechanics than others, but usually there's some kind of gameplay attached to the collecting. It's usually not as deep as a real competitive card game where you are collecting and then also using the things you're collecting in a really, you know, deep, profound, strategic way. Like a game like Magic, right, Fortiel? You know, it's collecting, but also the gameplay comes first. right? It's gameplay first with a big helping of collecting. Gacha games are like mostly collecting, and then there's some gameplay usually. Gacha games suck ass. Fuck them. At the time, 4TL, I had played a gacha game that I fell in love with profoundly. Profoundly. And to this very day, I love that game. But games as a service suck ass, universally. And gacha especially, it has a lot of problematic implications that I think not enough publications are talking about. And on one hand, I can see why. Because on the one hand, the politics of gacha is kind of subtle. It's kind of subtle, and so making a video rambling about the evils of gacha is kind of fraught. It's not as easy as you would think. At the same time, it would be an understatement to say that there are some very problematic things about gacha on multiple levels. Rebel, I fell in love with a game called Pulla Magi Madoka Magica Magia Record. It was a gacha game based on Madoka Magica, my favorite anime of all time. But independent of that, it had great gameplay. It had an amazing story. It was very engrossing, gorgeous artwork. And I have no doubt, let me rephrase that, let me walk that back. I'm sure that there are at least a couple other gacha games that are near that level of quality. But I know for a fact that, broadly speaking, they are not that quality. There's something special about Magia Record. But more importantly, Magia Record was taken offline, which is always the case. It's always the case that, a gacha game will be taken offline because of their very nature. And so basically, I was there when the game, was taken down for not doing enough sales and microtransactions. And I lost, of course, not only all of my personal progress, but more importantly, way more importantly, gaming culture as a whole lost access to this game because as a service title, there is no way to preserve it. I just got done playing a game Revolutionary called Dragon Warrior 8, Dragon Warrior 3. You were there at the time. That game's from 1988, and it's still godlike. It's godlike after all these decades. It's godlike, but all these mobile games, they're lost to history forever. They're gone. They will never be played again. And there are some exceptions, and by that I mean that sometimes, unfortunately, very rarely, someone is saving the Android versions, especially of these games. The APK file. And then 10 times, let me rephrase that, 1,000 times more rarely than that, there is some hacker who is obsessed with this game enough to reverse engineer the server side. That never happens with an asterisk, because it has been known to happen extremely rarely. That a mobile game will see a resurrection because some fan wrote their own server software for it. It's very unfortunate. And to me, that is the greatest evil of gacha games. It's the fact that, from a game's preservation standpoint, they are completely ephemeral, and that represents the wickedness of the capitalistic motivation behind them. Right? The fact that these games cannot be preserved, because if they could be, then people couldn't make money off of them. So they have to go away. They have to be lost forever. That really sucks. That being said, there's other evils with gacha as well, and Magia Record was not immune to these. One is the whole microtransactions-based thing, right? The fact that it's all about being addicted. It's gambling, right? The idea is that you gamble in these games, and you spend money on a pack of cards, and you hope you get some of the things you want in that pack of cards. That sucks. It's really not different from traditional card games. It still sucks. It sucks in that as well. The thing I think is people aren't talking about as much is the misogynistic element of gacha games. That's something that you don't hear anybody talk about ever. You hear a lot about, let me rephrase that. Sometimes you hear about the gambling thing, But the fact that there is this element of gacha games where they're always about collecting beautiful women who are so often engineered specifically to be objects of the player's romantic affection, which is to say, when I say romantic, I'm not necessarily mean that you want to literally fuck every single character, or that you want them to be your girlfriend or to be in your literal harem, but just that they are engineered to create an attachment in the player that is on the basis of their moe qualities, right? Which are the very qualities that women have been objectified for since the beginning of time, basically. They are characters who, you are meant to be drawn to on that level of them being a cute or sexy young girl, right? And the idea then of them exploiting you, so the creator of the game exploits you through your interest in cute/sexy young girls. But then also in doing that, they are playing into this greater misogynistic, patriarchal, mechanism where this sort of objectification or simplification or diminishment, right? Diminification, we'll call that diminification, right? Of women is something that we tolerate, right? That's kind of, it kind of opens this whole can of worms. I think that not enough being said about how that is so central. Misogyny is so central to... Maybe it's not fair to say misogyny 100% of the time, but at the very least, patriarchy is at the very center of the success of gacha games. Should I play Magic for a and be a pro Magic player? Sometimes people are paying big money for phones because they got games in them from the late 90s and early 2000s. Isn't that funny? I got hooked to a gacha years ago for the longest time. I always said I wouldn't spend money on it, but of course I eventually did. I wish I had spent money on Maji Record if I thought it would have helped it stay alive. It was an extremely good game. I never spent any money on it once. And then I got taken offline for not making any money. I don't blame myself for that necessarily. But I do think that if you love a game, it's not a sin to support it financially, as long as you're in control. That being said, the design around gambling is super nefarious. Super nefarious. Right? It's gross. And Magic is no different in that respect. All I'm saying is that Ash Lizzle gets 1,000 viewers a day, Krim gets about 400, and he's not even very good at the game. Magic is popular. Yeah, well, I mean, there's already, 14, I know you're also being a little bit facetious. It goes without saying that, it's partially because Ash Lizzle has 1,000 viewers and Krim has about 400 viewers. It makes it very hard to break into a space like that. That's like saying that I should play Street Fighter 6 because Street Fighter 6 gets viewers. It definitely does, I don't doubt that. But it doesn't mean that every streamer is going to have success with it. If I streamed Street Fighter 6, I might even get more viewers than Third Strike. But even that's kind of a maybe. I think that 3S has a very strong niche appeal. The fact of the matter is that, I really enjoy Third Strike. I don't think I want to play another game even if it had more viewers. In the case of Magic, I don't doubt that I would like Magic. And I want to, since I'm having fun ranting to you guys and having fun, kind of being conversational right now, hope you guys don't mind if I go on a short tangent right about Magic and my challenge with Magic. We've discussed before, my thing with Magic being that it's not community owned. And you've been very gracious to explain to me, there's a lot of fan versions out there. You can play the game for free. You can basically pirate the game, right? And I want to be clear that I appreciate that. I love that you can do that. I'm glad that players do that. And if I was going to do it, that would be how I would do it for sure. That being said, I also think that there's a subtle frustration at play that comes from giving market share, even if it's just mental market share, to a big corporate property. And I've always kind of been frustrated that something like a board game or like a card game is so abstract. A card game is so abstract, you would think that a fan effort or a community effort could really rival the corporate efforts. But to my surprise, based on our research we did collectively on stream, this seems not to be the case. There really isn't a big community-owned card game. And that really annoys me. That's really a big part of why I'm not interested in card games. Because the idea of being a part of an ecosystem that Wizards of the Coast is in control of is something that doesn't hold a lot of appeal to me. I'm sure the game itself is really, really great. And I'm really glad, again, people are playing it for free. And they're not really in a position to have to buy into the game. And I have friends that also create their own cards. I have friends that there's a Discord server that I'm on. People create their own Magic cards and play with their own rule sets and stuff. To me, I just wish that there was a card game. I would play a card game that was like Magic or like Pokemon or like Yu-Gi-Oh! That was totally community owned. I don't play Street Fighter 6 with Punch Bunch, and I got no interest in it for it, but if you stream it, I might be tempted to play it if there is that. Thank you, Punch Bunch. That's really kind of you to say. I also think that if I played, 6, I could get people into it. But, yeah, I don't know. I think I'm going to keep playing Third Strike on Tuesdays. Even when, June comes and goes, and I see my channel face a big change in its schedule, I think I want to keep streaming Third Strike on Tuesdays, I think. I can see how card games wouldn't really gel with your ethics, but man, they can be real fun. Yeah, it's just one of those things, Fortail. I don't really feel that strongly about it. It's just a little frustration. But it's that little frustration that keeps me from wanting to really go into it. I think that compared to video games, for instance, right? The idea of pirating Magic to play online with your homies, that's something that I don't think is gross or anything. I think it's great. It's just that because I'm not into it yet, right? I'm not into it yet. If I had been, basically, how about this, right? If I was a Harry Potter fan as a kid, then I found out that, fucking the creator was a huge transphobe, I would stop buying Harry Potter stuff. But I wouldn't probably leave. If I was on like a fan community, I might not leave that community. What I would probably say is just, hey, I'm not going to buy any more Harry Potter stuff, but I'm going to seize ownership. I'm going to seize ownership of all of my positive memories with this franchise. And I'm going to, continue to be a Harry Potter fan, but not in the corporate sense, just in the sense of, being a part of this community. And I kind of feel like that's what Magic is, right? If I was a big time Magic player, and let's say Wizards is something really ridiculous, something super evil or something, super, shameless, I might say, well, I'm not going to stop playing Magic because of some bullshit Wizards of the Coast did, right? I love this game. They're just the guys that fucking own it, right? I'm going to stop buying cards, but I'm going to keep playing it. It's still a fun game. It's still a game that, is not owned. Wizards owns the game, but the players really own the game, right? Because we're the ones fucking playing it, right? I go to my fucking local card shop, play Magic the Gathering. It's not like we're all sitting there worshiping Wizards of the Coast. We're just, at best, customers of theirs. But really, it's that community that's the important part. But in my case, my point is that I'm not a Magic player yet. So, for me to get into Magic at this point for the first time, it seems kind of a hard sell. Because again, I don't like the idea of buying into this IP that is corporately owned. There's a Godlike MK2 player that did his own card game, Mortal Jason. Not sure what became of it, huh? Should I play Crypto Zoo? What's Crypto Zoo, Revolutionary? I believe it, Ford. I believe it. Again, I'm not saying that by playing Magic, anybody is, is actually directly supporting Wizards of the Coast. I'm glad that they don't. I'm glad the players, again, they seize ownership of the game, right? Because they're the ones that are fucking playing it, they're the ones that love it, it's their game. At the same time, as somebody who has no prior investment into it, it makes it hard for me to want to become invested in it. But if I already had investments, then I'd be like, fuck it. There are some good people in the company, but mostly at the lower levels, unfortunately. I just find it frustrating that, again, you couldn't have a card game. I feel as though, if I was a Magic player and I hated Magic because of, the corporate shit, wouldn't you just say, hey guys, let's make our own game? And it seems as if that would be pretty easy to do compared to other indie video games, right? Create your own card game. But I'm sure a lot of work goes into it, obviously. But I'm still really surprised that there is no serious competition. We found like one game that exists, but it seems like it's not that well supported. It was a big scam that Logan Paul played a part in. It was going to be a blockchain NFT card game, I see. That's pretty funny. Bunch knows about that shit. CoffeeZilla mentioned earlier destroyed Logan for it. That's funny. My friend Bald Eagle PC plays a online card game, which is like an indie card game. But it's not quite community owned. It almost is, but not quite. I played it at his recommendation off stream one time, and I got as far as the game asking me to spend my real life money to buy Gemeralds so I could play longer or whatever per day. And I was like, oh, fuck this. It's a gacha game is what it is. It's a gacha game. And it is, again, it's an indie game. It's an indie gacha game. But it's not like a huge company owns it, but it still demonstrates, very, capitalistic design philosophy. Oh, Outer. Wow, that's a good ass game right there. Just do a second playthrough of that game, huh? Wow. God, I've been fucking rambling so long. It's fucking 3 o'clock in the morning. 4TL, thank you for everything. I could be more specific, but why? Just thank you for everything. You're great. Revolutionary, buncha. Thanks for being here. You guys are amazing as well. Ass Milk, hope you're having a good sleep. Likewise, Ball John, thanks for stopping by and saying hi. You guys are lurking. Peace out. Good night. I'm gonna thank some fine folks as well for supporting the channel on Ko-fi, Patreon, Twitch subs. I stream full time. I can't eat if you guys don't support me. So many of you guys do so much, and I appreciate that profoundly. Thank you to Jiffy, James Micheletti, Gert Locker, Ginseng, and Sarcasm for being supporters on Ko-fi. I bought a meal today I bought food today at the grocery store. Thanks to these guys. Thank you as well to the supporters on patreon.com/Vencabot, who likewise, make my life possible. Thank you to Balls Deep, Decoy Mantis, Drew Newworth, Foul Mill, John Hernandez, Max, Mutant XP, Oni Ramen, Prime Opus, and Your Salty Face. Thank you Ashley Lamazera, Audrey Apples, Karina, Darian, Dicksucker, Envy Bariqua, Eric Smitra, Lugo Luna, Gene Haley, Michael Hinkle, Rob Martin, Rob Sykes, and Shiva Jones. Thank you Ann Antonio Sanchez, Brendan Williams, Drew Katsikas, 4TL, Ginseng, Good Vibe City, I'm Joey Cruz, Tuna Nan, Keith Best, Kyle Glass, Lightworks, and Rage Against Arcade Machine. Thank you Wolfrain, Bald Eagle PC, Blue Raz Rush, Donka, Dasman's Gaming, Philippe Rodriguez, Herb Durkin, Julianne Bergman, Kaiju, Mark Parker, McServed, Momo, Phil Harrison, Steph Gomez, and William. Thank you to Twitch subs guys like Third Noobster, Am I Pooping, Arteus, Audrey Apples, Balls Deep, Blue Abs, Boyker, Brother Nero FGC, Verdrinka, Cavias, Chains, what the fuck? DFW Wax, Dicksucker, DJ Moonlight Strike, Eat That Ucha, Isana Edwards, Fight J Fight, 4TL for Bay, Hado Hideki, In Silo, GT Beefy, Katie Alpha, KG the Legend, La Novella, Meb Coos Coos Coos, MF Dominus, Mothman FGC, Mr. Part 2, Nearhan, Neon Riot 4, New Hell Studios, Nuke Pool 16, Oomph, Aura Orange, Remy 0857, Rescue Ryan, Road to Level 89, Sofa Stream, 3 Venge, Tiger Lily 92, Yo Q, Your Brain 3S, and Zanzu. Dicksucker mentioned. What a god. Yeah, he comes by once every couple weeks and drops a sub. Love that guy, missed that guy. Again, I'm just really wishing with all my heart that life treats him fairly. Good night, 4TL. Good night, Revolutionaries, for being here. Good night, Puncha. Good night, my guy. Peace out, guys. Have a good sleep.